Antoinette, and today we are going to talk about Blonde. Talk to me, Harry Winston. Okay, so this was directed by... I don't remember his name. Was it Andrew? I don't know. Ana de Armas did an amazing job playing Marilyn. You did a wonderful job, baby. Good job, okay? There were only a few times where your accent didn't match, but who am I to talk about accents, right? Okay. So, the film is about Marilyn Monroe's life. It shows her as a little girl. It's based on the book by Joyce Carol Oates. I don't know how closely this writer-director, because the director also wrote the script, I don't know how closely he actually stuck to the book, because it seems very, I don't know. It shows her as a little girl. It shows her, all of the moments that we've all seen before, I think. If you're someone who read a couple articles about Marilyn Monroe and you looked at some of the photos that they have, all of those are in here. We have seen a lot of movies about Marilyn Monroe. Okay, there have been a lot of different movies about Marilyn Monroe. There have been a lot of articles, a lot of books. I don't think this brought anything new to her story, you know. This movie was just exploiting her all over again. It was very sad. I don't think that Marilyn Monroe would have enjoyed watching this movie. I think she would have hated it. The dialogue was really basic. It was just it was just not any good. The dialogue was crap. There was no real nuance. And that's what happens when you don't have really rich, well-rounded characters. The cinematography was good. That was very nice. As this film did not pass the Bechdel test. I mean, really, it's Marilyn amongst a bunch of men, and that wasn't exactly her life either. She had her caretaker maid, who I'm sure she had many conversations with. She had the people that her team, her glam team, what do they call it these days? Her glam squad. There were people in her glam squad. Spoilers! If you don't want to know the film's real hair color, you should go away now. I did not agree with showing a naked child on screen. Also, is it necessary? Ana de Armas was naked in this film a lot. And to me, that did not seem... I'm not really a fan of people being naked for no reason. It's like violence. If the character doesn't need to be naked, don't make them naked. Especially not if your scene is boring. It seems like part of the reason that the character Marilyn Monroe was naked in some of these scenes was to make it more interesting. And she doesn't have to be naked. It's almost like her rapist made a film about her, you know? That's the kind of portrayal that it feels like. I don't think that Norma Jean, when she was not on screen playing Marilyn Monroe, that she had that voice that she has. She doesn't talk like this when she's off camera. This is just part of her on-screen attitude. It's not something she does when she's at home with her husband. So that seemed very strange to me, is that she constantly had this doe-eyed attitude, because She was a smart woman. Yes, she probably was manipulated by the men in her life, and she allowed it because she had childhood traumas that led her to that. But this film almost made her seem stupid. You know, this film made it seem like she was not participating in her own life, which this is very sticky, I guess. I do think that she was a willing and active participant in her life at specific moments. She was there to do a job. She was there to pay the bills. She very much wanted to be there. And I don't feel like that was portrayed at all. I really wish that a female writer, director had made this film instead. Because I think that we would have had a character with much more depth, and it would have been a much more enjoyable watch. This was all just exploitation over and over and over again. It was just exploiting Marilyn and her saddest moments over and over again. And, you know, she's not just some cardboard cutout that talks like this all the time. She's a human being, and I don't think that she was given the care or the empathy. Not sympathy. There was plenty of sympathy. There was not any empathy for her struggles. Some of us out there would be like, oh, poor celebrity, boo-hoo, right? You know. But everybody has their own struggles. Celebrities have their struggles, yes? Yes. And especially being a woman in the 50s and 60s, maybe not so much the 60s, but being a sex symbol in the 50s must have been so hard for her. It just is such a shame that they made these movies the way that they did. Could you imagine a movie where Marilyn Monroe is actually treated like a human being? That would be nice. The men shaming her for being on the subway grate, you know, the men in her life were like, oh, what was his name? Was it Joe DiMaggio? Or Joe DiMaggio being like, oh, I don't like that you're showing off your panties in a movie and all these men are looking at you. Well, dude, what do you think is going to happen when you marry Marilyn Monroe? Like, duh. How stupid are you? That's like a guy who like dates a stripper and wants her to quit, and it's like, no dude, you met at the strip club, that's why you're dating her. Like, all of the men were obsessed with her. She had a career because she was a sex symbol, okay? Like, she was a talented actress, but on top of that, she had her sensuality. And that is part of the reason that people love her. A very sensual, sexual person. So for the men in the film to be like, oh, you're so tawdry, I can't believe you showed off your underwear. Like, really? Come on. All of the men were looking. So don't act like it's not something that you wanted to, you know? It is such a strange perspective on Marilyn Monroe, and also, did she have a gay threesome? Did she have a threesome with two gay men? I don't know. I don't think anybody knows for sure. But I mean, hey, whatever gets you off, right? Some of the shots in the film felt very art schooly, you know. It's like, oh, I remember this trick from art school, I'm going to try to make this moment artistic, when really it's just somebody, you know, walking across a room. It's like, why did we have to waste a minute of our life? It felt like, I think it was like 5 minutes or something. I don't know how long she looked for money, but watching Marilyn Monroe walk around her house and look for money is like, what the fuck? It's not like money was part of any other part of the film. It doesn't say anything about, oh, you know, I guess, You know, they kind of portrayed her like a money-grabbing hoe. One scene that I liked is that she asked to be paid just as much as Jane Russell. So that was nice to see a woman actually asking to get paid what she's worth. But once again, the way that it was portrayed was not in an empowering way of like, you go girl for asking for what what you deserve to be paid. It was almost kind of shamey. It kind of portrayed her in a bad light for asking to be paid what she's worth, and that just seems strange to me, because that is a really big deal to be like, oh, I am Marilyn Monroe, I deserve to be paid so much. The movie is called Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. Don't you think I should be paid just as much as Jane Russell when I am the blonde? The domestic violence in the film, that's very sad that she got hit. As you know, I have a special rating system for my films. You either get the guillotine, or you get the cute fluffy pink sheep, or you get champagne. Unfortunately, this is the guillotine. I think I've explained why. This is not a film that adds anything to the conversation, okay? So, perhaps in your next film, try not to exploit women. Thank you. Bye-bye. Feel free to tell me what you think in the comments. If you like what you're hearing, if you like what you see, hit the like button. If you think that I am the bee's knees, please subscribe, follow me. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. Go away. Go. Go away. Go. A kiss on the hand may be quite continental, but diamonds are a girl's best friend.